3, 2, 1. Okay, so little example here. These boats here, they were sailing close hauled with their sails fully in, but they had no speed because they hadn't got any speed because they were slowing down as best they could coming up to the line. So sorry, I'm going to turn off my watch. All right. So if you're close hauled and your sail's fully in and you have no speed, it's very, very hard to get a boat to start taking off with speed, even if you give it a pump. Because what happens is, I think the rule of thumb on it basically is a sail creates about 80% of the power pulling sideways, and only 20% of it actually pulls you forward on a beat. And by putting a daggerboard down, you get rid of that 80%, and also hiking your ass off. You kind of counteract that 80% and you harness that 20% going forward. But you only get that 20% going forward if you have a bit of momentum in your boat in the first place. So by having your sail fully in and sailing close haul but not having any speed going, it's very hard to actually get any speed out of the pump in that boat, like by rocking the boat and giving it a pump. So what you have to do is actually have a bit of momentum first, not have your sail fully in, and point up onto that close hold and flatten out. That's when you get serious acceleration. When you're slightly off the wind, sail slightly out, you get that lured lean, and that allows you to point up, and then you flatten out. And when you flatten out, then you'll get that speed and you'll come off the line. It was a great example. We had 4 boats close to us here. They were all close hauled with their sails fully in, but they had no boat speed whatsoever. And you could even see the guy closest to us, he gave the boat a pump, but he didn't take away from the other guys beside him, because he gave a pump when he was close hauled and he had no boat speed. So it is so damn important that you have that lured gap, that you're able to bear away a small bit, so when you get that pump you come out with speed. Because what you're looking for basically is to get a little bit of a pump that you can get ahead of the guys beside you. Now the rule is you can't rock a boat to get speed. So basically the kind of grey area, and what we talk about is, if you're leaning the boat to lured and creating and doing that lean to let the boat point up, then it's okay to have that lean. And then of course you want to flatten out the boat because you want to go in a straight line with a flat boat. So that's the kind of argument that you would have with a juror, where if a juror just sees you sitting into the boat and jumping back out to pump the sail, that's when you're going to get pinged with rule 40, I think it's rule 42, which is illegal propulsion of your boat. So there's a real thin line there, and it actually is more advantageous to do it within the rules. That's when you will get more speed out of it anyway. So moving on here to the Leeward Mark rounding, got lots of boats coming in here. I don't hear much talking there. So kickers going on, sheeting in. We also have boats coming back now as well from Mark 3, so they just need to start talking. Oh, and they're not. I don't hear anyone shouting. 3109 should be screaming his head off there, looking for room, trying to get in the inside. So we have a debate going between two lasers here. So we've got a good debate going between sailors here. There was talk of sailing proper course, and then there was talk of, well, I think Francis might have snuck in there at the last second. I don't know if I got that on camera. So I think we should have in our debrief, we should have a chat about that incident and see what's going on. So remember, 3 boat lengths. When you're in 3 boat lengths, no one is allowed creep on the inside of you if they haven't got on the inside of you by then. So a big important thing of that is looking over your back shoulder and making sure that if someone's coming in hot, that you say, hey, I'm within 3 boat lengths, don't go in there. It's really important. And as for this gentleman here, where is it, this guy here, he didn't do, and Francis snuck in there, he didn't even see him, and then Francis was like, oh, I've got room, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, well, he crept up on me, I don't know if he did have room or if he didn't. So you got to talk about those things.